sure everything's all good to go. Turn that. Alright. So, I decided to broadcast for the moment. The reason for that is because I needed to make a video to show how one can flat using GIMP. GIMP, GNU Image Manipulation Program. I don't use this. This is not my preferred program. My preferred program is to use like PaintShop Pro. Others use Photoshop. Actually, a lot of folks use Photoshop, but hey, that's all fine and dandy. Usually, the method to flat is the same between pretty much the bigger programs. GIMP does things a little bit differently, but with a little assistance, I'd finally figured out how it's done. So, I'm going to get started on that right now. First things first, we need our file. So let us go grab a file. We'll just make use of Wonder Girl here. So we got our file. Now we need to do a couple of things. Some of the things do remain the same. We're going to go up here to our layers, and we're going to duplicate the layer. Back it out just a little bit. And we're going to make this one on the bottom here invisible, and we'll rename this top one lineart. Now, a little bit of a problem that one could catch in GIMP, because GIMP makes it difficult, is this part here. It's in grayscale. Well, if it's in grayscale, you can't do the next part easily, if at all. So, we're going to fix that here in just a second. First things first, we need to go back to our line art, and we're going to change the mode to multiply. As far as I can tell, this doesn't really affect much, but this isn't needed. GIMP seems to treat it as a burn blend. I don't know why. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be, but PaintShop Pro certainly doesn't, and Photoshop that I've seen hasn't, so we're going to run with it. Alright, so back to our image here. We're going to go to Image. Because it's in grayscale, we need to go to Image first. You're going to go to Mode and change it to RGB. This is important because if we go to the next part, it won't work. Let me go ahead and back that up one. The next part would be going to Layer, Transparency, Add Alpha Channel. Alright, so we got our Alpha Channel, Layer, Transparency. We needed to go to Color to Alpha, but it's in grayscale, so that's not going to work. So we're going to back it up a couple steps. Actually, that was one step too many. And let me widen the shot a little bit here. So we'll go to Image, Mode, RGB. Now it's RGB color. That means your color palette is maxed out. Go to Layer, Transparency, Add Alpha Channel, back to Layer, Transparency, Color to Alpha. Notice the preview here. This is what you're going to want the end result to be. You want the background there to not have any white whatsoever. And by default, it selects white. That's going to go to the Alpha Channel. Hit OK. Ta-da! We now have our line art layer. Now, similar to like PaintShop Pro or Photoshop, we're now going to create a new layer. And we're going to call it Flats. Go over here, drag the flats, bring it down. It's going to go underneath your line art layer. Now, I can understand I'm going to back it up a bit here. I can understand it's a little difficult to see what it is you're going to be working on next. even when you zoom in. Well, we can go back to our layers dialog box here and make the background, the very first image, visible once again. That's fine. No big deal. Now, notice we've got the flats layer selected. In GIMP, this is kind of necessary because it's... the next step is a little bit touchy. Normally, in PaintShop Pro, we would go to the lineart layer, and then zoom in over here to our tools. Then you would select the magic wand tool. In this case, they call it fuzzy select tool. I don't know why, but anyways, we select that. Scroll down here, and you would adjust your threshold a little bit. I'm going to leave it at 15 right now just because that's its default. But you would adjust the threshold. Threshold just means that whatever is that particular color, maximum color difference as it says there, that's what it's going to try to grab. So if you're clicking on pure white, it's going to grab everything that is close to pure white up to a certain point. If you have it set to 0, it's only going to grab pure white. The higher up you go, the more it'll grab. So if you had this thing all the way maxed out to 100, then it's going to grab everything on your image. So, on our line art layer, let's back it up a little bit. You got to make sure you select your layers in order to make any changes. But, okay, so we got our magic wand. We're selected on the line art layer. Next thing you would do is you would start selecting your parts. Say we just want her arms and the stomach. In order to add these different things, you need to hit the Shift key and then select them. Now, the next thing we would do, since we kind of just have, the marching ants marching around outside of some of the stuff we need to actually include, what I found is that you can't use the lasso tool, or at least I'm not aware of a way to do so, to just add more to your selection. That's what the marching ants area is. It's a selection. So we're going to have to expand it a little bit. Now let's see if I can remember where I found that. See, this is where things get a little fuzzy. There we go. Select. We go to select, because select is like selection. That's right. Go to grow, and we'll expand it 1 pixel. Notice it's now expanded to just right where your line art is going to be. And in some cases, it's just totally included. Just what we needed. Go back to our flats layer, select it, and we need an appropriate color. Let's see, we'll say right about there. Now we're going to go back to our toolbox here, select the bucket fill tool, and proceed to fill in. Ta-da! It gets it all in one shot, which is not a bad little feature. Obviously, we're going to have a few spots left out, so we can fix that either with the brush tool, or we'll just use the regular, lasso tool, which I have found has some interesting characteristics in GIMP. Notice as you select something, it makes this nice little dot. And it keeps doing that every time. It's not as free select as it says it is. In order to close it, you have to literally close on the dot that you started to begin with. But now it's selected, and we can go back to filling things in. I'm not much of a fan of this free select tool in GIMP, but if that's all you got, that's all you got. better than nothing at all. And I will say that GIMP's free select does seem to be fairly decent. I haven't had too many issues, beyond the fact that I don't particularly care much for this method of doing things. But if you want to add stuff, it's much better. And I kind of wonder, matter of fact, I'm going to find out right now. We'll just hit, if you hit the shift key and hold it, there we go. That gives you a bit more flexibility. And it is very sharp. I think it's better than Paint Shop Pro's was. I do like Paint Shop Pro. It works really good, but there are some pros and cons. And I'm fairly confident that this is not going to refill everything. Oh well. Anyways, to the next step, we're going to switch to the paintbrush tool. So we got these spots that we need to fill in. Just go fill them in. No big deal. Always make sure, though, you're on your flats layer. If you start doing it on a different layer, you're going to have a bad day. On to the next step. We need to fill in some more spices. Back to the line art layer. Back to using the magic wand tool. And we'll just select her. See, there's an example of the threshold at work. I'll give you a closer look of. The marching ants have decided to take over everything. That usually means that there's somewhere in there's a gap. Or you clicked on something that could go everywhere. In this case, it was probably somewhere like, yep, there it is. The threshold is a little too close. Like this little gray space area here. The threshold on that is close enough to the rest of the image that it just decided to capture everything. We don't want that. So, hey, I didn't ask for that. So, we are going to do a little experiment again because that's how I roll. Yeah. I've just learned something on the spot here. Awesome. You'll have to disregard what I had mentioned earlier, that it doesn't let you use Magic Wand and the regular select, because it does. Just the last time I did it, it decided to be annoying. Alright, so if you select something and you want to add more to it, you select it with the Magic Wand, you want to add more. Let's stretch out a bit here. You go from using the Magic Wand, select the free select tool, and when you want to add stuff to it, hold down the shift key and hold down your right mouse button and add to it. Don't let go of either one though, otherwise it's going to screw it up and you're going to be left with just one bit of selection instead of all the selection that you were trying to get. And once again, make sure that you close the selection. Now, I could have used the expand feature again in select, but I decided this would work better for this particular purpose. We will come back to that in a minute. And select some red. Paint bucket tool. Notice I almost filled, but I'm still on the line art layer. Stretch out. I'm still on the line art layer. This would have been a disaster. Matter of fact, let me show you what happens. It's not going to fill quite right, and it's going to look terrible. So we'll undo, select the flats layer, fill in, and done. Notice, we got the marching ants thing going on over much more than what I needed. And also notice that when I flooded, it only went to those areas that didn't have any colors before. This is why we're doing this in very sharp selections. Because when we go to apply highlights, all we'd have to do is literally select one color, one thing. Instead of trying to go back and get all those spaces that we had earlier. Like before, like the belly button was missed, and you got, you know, other various spaces. It gets all the color in one shot. To make it a bit clearer, here's what your flats layer looks like without the line art showing. This is all that your actual flats layer has. Doesn't have any lines, but it folds up real neatly underneath your line art layer. Looks pretty. Now just to do one last quick demonstration from start to finish, we'll go to her pants here, because why not? We're on our line art layer. We got the magic wand tool selected. Threshold is at 15. Adjust as you feel is appropriate. I select one part of her pants here. Hold the shift key. Select another part. And say that's all you're going to select at this point in time. We need to expand a little bit. We just go to select, grow, 1 pixel or 2, depends entirely on the line art that you're working on. Hit OK, notice it's expanded. Go to your free select tool and select it. You'll want to zoom in for this part. Press the shift key. You should notice a little plus sign above your little lasso. Hold down the left mouse button and start picking up those things that you had missed with the magic wand. And make sure when you do this that you close the selection that you're making. Otherwise, it's going to want you to keep going. And we don't want that. Now, obviously we can't get it all in one shot because of various things, threshold, whatnot, but this is not a hindrance. Alright, that's all we're going to select from this. Pick your color that you want in your palette. That's what these things are here over in the corner. Foreground and background colors, and it's Wonder Girl, so it's a bit bluish. If I remember correctly, dark blue. Okay. Paint bucket tool. Make sure you're on your flats layer. And flood, done. I didn't want to do that. That's all there is to putting in flats in GIMP. The most important part is the beginning part where you're dealing with the whole alpha channel and whatnot. And I will re-demonstrate that real fast. Let's see, I'm just going to... Alright, just to re-demonstrate, you got your image that you're going to work on. It hasn't been touched yet at all. you're going to first check to see what its color is set. This is set to grayscale. So we need to go to Image, Mode, RGB. If it's already in RGB, don't worry about it. You're done with that part. Go over to your Layers, right-click, Duplicate. Your choice if you want to make the background here invisible or not. Usually it is. At least it is for me. Rename your new layer lineart. Then go to Layer, Transparency, add alpha channel, Layer, Transparency, color to alpha. It should already be set to whatever your primary background color is. In most line art, it's white. Hit OK. This is what it should look like if you have your background layer set to invisible. Next, Layer, New Layer, call it Flats, leave it to Layer Fill Type Transparency. OK. Go over to your Layers dialog box, click and hold and drag below your line art. Proceed to work. I hope you find this useful. GIMP is not a terrible program. It's free. It does the job. And as we saw as I was working on this, even, I was learning as we went. It's fairly potent. Not terribly difficult, but it certainly does things differently than the other, programs that you pay for. So, thanks for watching. Good luck putting flats colors on any image that you want. Comic page, any kind of page or image. Have fun.